There comes a moment in every person's life when the weight becomes unbearable. When you have smiled so long for everyone else that you have forgotten what your real face looks like. When you have said, I am fine, so many times that the words have lost all meaning. When you lay awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering how you ended up here, wondering if anyone would even notice if you just stopped trying. I see you. I see you carrying burdens you never asked for. I see you fighting battles nobody knows about. I see you holding yourself together with nothing but willpower and the faint hope that tomorrow might be different. And I need you to hear something today. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not a failure. You are a human being who has been caring for too much for far too long. And the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still searching for a reason to keep going. That's not weakness, that's the kind of strength most people will never understand. Because anyone can be strong when life is easy. Anyone can smile when the sun is shining. But to keep moving forward when every step feels like walking through concrete. To keep believing when every voice in your head is screaming that you should give up. That takes a warrior. And you, my friend, you are a warrior who's forgotten their own power. Let me tell you about the lies that have kept you trapped. The lie that says you are not good enough. That whispers in your ears or every morning before your feet even hit the floor. That tells you everyone else has it figured out while you are still stumbling in the dark. The lie that says your past defines your future, that because you failed yesterday, you will fail tomorrow, that your mistakes are permanent stain on your soul that can never be wiped away. The lie that says you are alone in this, that nobody understands, that if people really knew who you were, the fear, the doubt, the darkness, they would turn away. Because the truth is every single person you admire, every person who seems to have it together, every person whose life looks perfect from the outside, they have fought the same demons you are fighting right now. The CEO who built an empire, they carried themselves to sleep wondering if they were a fraud. The athlete who stands on the podium, they thought about quitting 1,000 times. The parent who seems too patient and loving, they have locked themselves in the bathroom just a breath. You are not alone in your struggle. You are part of a brotherhood, a sisterhood of broken people who refuse to stay broken. And that refusal, that tiny spark of defiance that says not to do, that's the beginning of everything. Here's what they don't tell you about rock bottom. It's not a place, it's a decision. Rock bottom is not when your bank account hits zero. It's not when you lose the job, the relationship, the opportunity. It's not when the world falls apart around you. Rock bottom is the moment you decide that you will not go any lower. It's the moment you plant your feet in the mud and say, this is where it ends. This is where I start climbing. And that moment, the beautiful, terrible, powerful moment, it can happen right now. Not tomorrow, not when things get better, not when you feel ready. Because you will never feel ready, you will never have enough energy, enough memory, enough support, enough time. You will never wake up one morning suddenly filled with motivation and certainty. That is not how change works like this. You feel afraid and you do it anyway. You feel exhausted and you take one more step. You feel hopeless and you choose hope anyway. Not because you believe it, but because the alternative is surrender. And you are not built to surrender. I don't care what your circumstances are right now. I don't care how many times you have failed. I don't care what they said about you, what you have said about yourself, what the evidence seems to suggest. You have a fire inside you that has not gone out. It might be dim, it might be barely flickering, but it is still there, and it is still burning, and it is waiting for you to feed it. So what's it going to be? Are you going to let this chapter be your ending? Or are you going to let it be the setup for the greatest comeback story ever told? Let me tell you a secret about success. It does not happen on stage. It does not happen when the cameras are rolling. It does not happen in the highlight reels and the celebration posts and the victory speeches. Success happens in the dark. It happens at 5 a.m. when your alarm goes off and every fiber of your being screams to stay in bed. It happens in the rejection emails and it closed doors and the no's that pile up like stones on your chest. It happens when nobody is watching, when nobody is hearing, when nobody would blame you for walking away. Not in the moment of glory, in the moment of grind, in the unsexy, unglamorous, unwitnessed hours of showing up anyway, of practicing when you are tired, of studying when you are discouraged, of working on yourself when you feel like you are making no progress at all. And here's the beautiful thing about those moments, they compound every day. You choose discipline over comfort. You are depositing into an account you can't see yet. Every time you push through resistance, you are building a version of yourself that does not exist yet. Every small victory, every tiny choice, every moment you refuse to quit, it is adding up. You can't see it yet, but one day you will look back and realize that the person you have become was built in those invisible moments, that the strength you carry was forged in the fire nobody knew you were walking through. And you will be so grateful, so deeply overwhelming grateful that you did not give up with it was hardest. Because the view from the top is worth every step of the climb. Now I want to tell you who you really are, not who they told you that you were, not who your fear say you are, not who your failure have made you believe you are. You are someone who has survived every bad day you have ever had, every heartbreak, every disappointment, every moment that felt like the end. You survived it. You are still here. You are someone who has gotten back up every single time you have been knocked down. Maybe not immediately, maybe not gracefully, but eventually, somehow, you found your feet again. That's not luck, that's correct. You are someone whose story is still being written. The chapter you are in right now, it is not the whole book, it is not even the climax. It is the part where the hero is being prepared for something greater than they can imagine. And you are the hero of this story. Not because you are perfect, not because you have it all figured out, but because you keep going, because you refuse to let your circumstances become your identity. Because somewhere deep inside you, there is a voice that still believes something better is possible. Listen to that voice. It is the truest part of you. It is the part that knows you were made for more than just surviving. It is the part that remembers who you were before the world tried to break you. It is the word tried to break you, and it's calling you forward. So here's what I need you to do. Take a breath, a real one. Feel your lungs fill with air. You don't deserve any less than anyone else on this planet. And then stand up. I don't care if it is metaphorical or literal. Stand up. Straighten your spine. Lift your head. You are not done. Your story is not over. Your best days are not behind. Waiting for you to believe you deserve them, waiting for you to stop asking permission to be great, waiting for you to step into the person you were always meant to become. This is your moment. Not because the timing is perfect, not because the conditions are right, but because you decided right here, right now, that you will not be defeated by your circumstances. You will not be defined by your lowest moment. You will not go quietly. You are going to rise slowly, maybe imperfectly, certainly, but relentlessly, unstoppably. Because that's who you are. That's who you have always been, and it's time the rest of the world saw it too. Now go, not tomorrow, not later, now. Take one step, make one call, write one word, send one message. Do not think, just one thing that your future self will thank you for. And then do it again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, until one day you wake up and realize you made it. You actually made it. And you will remember this moment, this exact moment when you decided that your pain would become your purpose, your struggle would become your story, and your breakdown would become your breakthrough. This is that moment. Don't waste it.